Effectively a one-woman tourist board using the power of just her mobile and her bus pass to showcase beautiful sights and amazing events hosted all over the island. Even the weather won't stop her, working both day and night to make sure that people all over the world know just how amazing our Isle of Wight is.
Hi everybody, it's Lynn here, the Go Live Granny, and I've just done a live stream over at the church on the roundabout. I'm down outside the Delhi cafe, and I'm sitting down on Western Gardens on Ryde Seafront, and I'm live streaming here on Friday afternoon, the 17th of July. I am sitting in the Go Live Granny community garden, live streaming this time from the garage. I'm sitting out in my front garden because it's actually hashtag National Knit in Public Day. It's time for a little bit of monkeying around, winging our way through the first month of the new decade. I've already done a live stream today, 2020 it is, and I'm live streaming here under my gazebo. No, it's not 10 o'clock. You're not wrong. It's 10 to 6. It's a bit dark. I've been at the Isle of Wight Stylers. I am down on St Helens Green for the St Helens Carnival, and I'm just going to do a quick live stream. So I thought I'd just do a little monkeying about. Wow, all I can say is wow, wow, wow. We have some wonderful people in this community. Over 200 shares. That's the magic. That's when the magic happens. Is when everybody starts sharing. So. Good evening, everybody. It's Lynn here, the Go Live Granny. Sorry, I'm 3 or 4 minutes late. I've been having issues, always getting technical issues. I've been having issues with my computer, my main computer, which is very, very slow tonight. I'd wanted to get some more bits ready for this broadcast, but I might have to put links and things in later at another stage. Hello, Richard. Nice to see you coming in there from YouTube. And yes, so I have had an amazing evening. Normally on a Thursday, I go to Slimming World, and that's okay, and it's fine. But I have had an amazing evening this evening. And first of all, I'm going to welcome anybody coming in on the live. I can see some people coming in on the live. Do comment if you want to. If you want to sit in the background, that's absolutely fine. If you're coming in on the replay, so obviously that's in the future, do put replay in the comments so that I know that you've been here, and it will give me a message to come and say hello to you. So it's great to be back live streaming more. I've met some people tonight who haven't seen me for a long time, and they said I'm looking so well and I'm feeling so well, which is why I'm actually, starting to do more live streaming. And tonight it was all about my beautiful Isle of Wight, not just my personal bits and pieces, but my beautiful Isle of Wight. And that's where I started as the Go Live Granny. Please share. Richard, can you tag anybody if you can think of anybody that might want to come in that's not here already? So hang on. Whoops. Right. Okay. If somebody's just sending me a message that they'll watch tomorrow. Wow. So Ailey's celebrating her 60th birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ailey. Happy birthday to you. I haven't got party poppers. I haven't got my party hat, but I do wish you a big and very happy birthday. So that's great. So nice for you to come in here. So what have I been up to today? Well, I've had a fairly chilled out day. I was going to do some crafting, and then that didn't quite happen because my brother popped over and we had some stuff to discuss. And I decided just actually let's chill. I'm going out for 5 o'clock down to the hover travel. So I thought I wasn't going to try and stress over anything. I was going to get myself organized and go down to the hover travel to be there for 5 o'clock. Hello Gaz, nice to see you. So I had an invite. Jan of Isle Access got an invite for me to go to a meeting tonight. Now, anybody who's watched me for any length of time knows I live on the Isle of Wight, and I'm passionate about telling the world how marvellous the Isle of Wight is. And that's where I started all my live streaming back in 2016 about the Isle of Wight. Then, of course, we had COVID, and we went from Isle of Wight things to things that I did personally. Then, of course, I became very ill in December 2022. And so I haven't live streamed much for the last year while I've been recovering. But this year, just recently, I've started doing a bit more vlogging, and I have a blogging, live streaming, and I have a feeling that I'm going to be doing a lot more, especially after the meeting I've been to tonight. So an opportunity to tell the world what a marvellous island I live on. Gaz lives here as well. Who else is in the broadcast? Ailey lives in Scotland. Richard lives in Birmingham. So we've got some of our, community coming in. If there's more people that you want to tag to let them know about what's going on, that would be brilliant. Now, I was trying to get all the tags and all the information and tag the YouTube channel with all the links. But my computer was playing up before I went live. So I will have to put the links onto the YouTube video replay after the broadcast, because I couldn't get them in time, because I had that little wheel that keeps going round and round and round, and your computer doesn't load, when you want it to. So I didn't want to do the broadcast any later. I wanted to get it done at 9 o'clock. So here we go. Hello, Sam. Nice to see you coming in there from Facebook. So I have been down to the hover travel. And if anybody saw the picture, you'll see me outside the little picture, the little thumbnail that was advertised. Hello, Jill. The little thumbnail that was advertising the live stream tonight was actually me at the hover travel. Hello, Kath. Nice to see you in. Michelle, hello. How are you? Coming in from a long way away. Nice to see you. So this live stream is mainly about my beautiful Isle of Wight, and about the power of community and the power of working together as a community. So those of you who don't know, I was born and bred in London, Middlesex, and then West London, born and bred there and lived there all my life. Good, Michelle. Glad you're okay. Born and bred in London, and came and lived on the Isle of Wight when I was 50. I won't bore you with all the other details. Your friend Breda and Maureen and Margaret and Janet say hi. Hello to everybody there, all the people coming in with Sam there. That's nice to say hello. Everybody saying hello. So, those of you who know, I started promoting the Isle of Wight back in 2016 because I wanted to show off my beautiful island, and the people who were in charge of the marketing didn't believe in YouTube. So my son showed me how to I knew how to live stream, but he set me up becoming a live streaming for the Isle of Wight, which I have done for several years until pandemic came. And then, of course, I live streamed about knitting and other things. But now, after a year of trying to recover from pneumonia, I'm now back on the Isle of Wight promotion trail, and tonight was amazing. There were some amazing people there. So the meeting tonight was held at Hover Travel. So those of you who don't live on the island, we have hovercrafts that we can get on to go to the mainland. Hello, Astrid, nice to see you. So we have hovercrafts that we can get on Ryde Sea. I live in Ryde. So I live on the Isle of Wight, which is a small island off the south coast of the UK. For those who don't know, it's a very short distance between us and the mainland. We have the Solent water, the Solent runs between us and the mainland. So the mainland is here, and we're just a little island off the bottom. That is the most expensive piece of water to cross, but there are ways around getting cheaper trips. So I'm not going to put anybody off by saying it's expensive, because there are cheaper ways of travelling across there if you want to. And even if you don't want to, there's still, as my dad would say, there's still cheaper ways of going. So I had the opportunity tonight to go to Hover Travel to this meeting, and the meeting was all about Ryde Beach accessibility. Okay, and I'm going to put a banner. I'm going to ticker a banner across the bottom. I think I managed to set that up in time, even though the computer was playing up. Right, so let's put this across there. So Ryde Town Council Beach Accessibility Project. That's what we're on. But I couldn't find all the links quickly enough this evening because the computer decided it was on a go slow. But I will put them all together because there are lots of things that I might want you to go and vote for, or click on, or make a donation, or share, or whatever it is, like we do. You'll need the links. So I will put those up at some stage, but not before the broadcast ends. So I'm actually going to read you from Ryde Town Council, the beach accessibility bit. So let's see if I've got if I can read you some. So it was Jan Brooks, who runs Isle Access, who got me invited to this meeting, because she knows that I can share our information via the internet and get everybody to share. So it's she tells me, I tell you, you all push the buttons and the magic happens, because the magic is in the numbers. So we want the world to know. And the point is, she's told me in the past, and another lady from I think it was from Ryde Town Council. I can't remember all the personalities. I will have access to the videos that were taken tonight. I didn't live stream because I hadn't asked in advance, but I was delighted to see that Hannah of Ryde Town Council was actually recording the presentations. So I will put the presentations out so you will be able to watch them and see this marvelous way that they're going to make our beautiful beaches in Ryde accessible to all. So so Ryde Town Council did presentations. The host was Neil, who's in charge at Hover Travel. So they hosted the meeting, and then there were two ambassadors talking on behalf of people with disabilities. They gave amazing presentations, and then Jan gave a very quick add-on to those two presentations. So I met Jan years ago, and I was astounded to find out that the Isle of Wight, particularly, not just Ryde, but the whole of the Isle of Wight, was losing billions of, or thousands and thousands and thousands. I can't remember the figure. Huge amount of money from our tourism. Hello, Kathleen. Nice to see you. Oh, very bad. I keep cutting out. Sorry about that. You might have to watch the replay, Kathleen. I hope you're feeling better. I know you've been having a bit of a rough time. Sending you lots of love. Hope you got that. So anyway, so Jan set up Isle Access because she knew that we were losing huge amounts of money to our economy here on the Isle of Wight. And I mean, our big economy is tourism. Now, if people don't come to the island, lots of the businesses will suffer. We do have other industries here, but it's a major part of what happens on the island. It's a beautiful place. And I knew a long time ago that if you don't give people information, they won't know and they won't come. If you give them the information, then they can decide whether to come or not. So the point was that the information about accessibility was nowhere to be found. Okay, so if you have a disability, or say you've got somebody in your family who's a wheelchair user or any other disability, not just wheelchair users, this is for everybody, with those disabilities, you need to know that if you're going somewhere, places are going to be accessible to you, and that you're not going to have to, change your plans because you got there and it didn't work for you, and you've wasted a lot of money going somewhere where you couldn't access things. And so I sort of, got to know more about what Jan did, and it's Jan who runs the hub on a Friday morning, where I go and do the crafting and the craft workshops. But we don't just do that there. Jan has people in with various skills. She had a lady in who's teaching Makaton, and she's had other people in who've got information to pass on to people that's relevant in all this accessibility bubble. No, it's not a bubble, but you know what I mean. I'm trying to put it in, in its little, in a place of its own, so that we can talk about accessibility. And so Jan had set up Isle Access, and she's been doing a fantastic job. She does audits for hotels and things. If they want to know, how accessible their place is, and understand more about what they could do to make it accessible, or whether that's possible or whether it is, then the information can be put out. If you don't put the information out, people will think, hello, Peter, nice to see you. If you don't put the information out, people with disabilities are not going to sit and think, oh, I wonder if the Isle of Wight might be my place to go. Because if Cornwall's got all the information on their website, or if Devon's got all the information on their website, they're not going to waste time looking to see if they've got access on the Isle of Wight, because they can have a holiday in Cornwall or Devon or wherever it is. So the important thing is get the message out, get the information out. So Jan's been doing that well. And I've met another lady tonight, a lovely lady who actually gave me a lift home, or her husband drove, and we were chatting, and I want to meet her up with her more. And her business is called Unlimited Island, making tourism accessible. So another very important lady to get to know. So we're going to have coffees very soon. I don't mean tonight, but we're going to meet up for coffee and see what we can do. So she's obviously doing a lot of a similar sort of thing to Jan, but she's got a website, and that. So Jan set up the charity. Claire has got Unlimited Island, making tourism accessible there. So they're both on the same path. Lynn, you've got that. Thank you. Been watching the World Snooker to pass your time. That's good. I hope that the snooker results were going the way you wanted. I don't know much about snooker. I used to play snooker years ago because we inherited a small snooker table. So I used to play snooker with my family, but I don't know that I'd be any good at it now. But it was fun at the time. So anyway, so I met Claire, and I met loads of people. So we got to Hover Travel for 5 o'clock, and then there was a lot of networking going on at the beginning, and that's brilliant because you get to chat to people around the room, and you find out, how you can collaborate. The whole thing is about working together. I've always maintained that communities working together get the results. I've been chastised for it. I've been told off by business people when I was head of Ryde Business Association, or chair of Ryde. I didn't ever want the job, but the Ryde Business Association was going to fold. So I said I'd sit in the chair until somebody else could do it. So I did my best. I wasn't good at it. People think I'm good at everything. No, I knew I wasn't good at that. And most things I'm not good at, I don't attempt. I attempt the things I know I can be good at. I didn't think I could be good at being chair of Ryde Business Association, but nobody else was going to do it. So done was better than perfect in my book. So I actually held the organisation together until it moved on to a new chair. But I got heavily criticised for it. But you know what? I kept maintaining that working as a community is how it works. Collaboration is how it works. And Claire, who gave me the lift home tonight, she and her husband gave me the lift home tonight, they said, I need to meet, they're going to introduce me to another lady on the island who thinks exactly like I do, and who uses the word collaboration a lot in what she does. So tonight, it's about all those linking up for the greater good of the community. So, as I say, when I was chair of Ryde Business Association, I was trying to get the community to work together. And somebody in the organisation said, but we're businesses. We don't want to faff with the community. And I said, well, I don't know whether I said it to him. I tried to say it to him, but I don't think he wanted to listen. Who are your customers? Just the businesses? Or do you want to reach out to the community with your business and they become your customers? Very, very short-sighted, some people. They got their blinkers on and they only see like this. You have to look like this. We all help each other. And I can tell you through pandemic, through the Go Live Granny community, and through, the live streaming I did before, and then particularly in pandemic, we work together to help each other. And that's what it's always about, whether it's, keeping ourselves sane through the pandemic and talking to each other and helping each other, or whether it's like yesterday I was out at Bodster and I was talking about how as a community we worked together to get votes in to allow to help Bodster become in the top 3 of a competition. It was the lottery funding, and we helped them to win £50,000. So, you know, there's no mean task here, and it is only about working together. No one person on their own can do it. You know, people will say, "Oh, I'm pretty good because I got the results." I don't get the results on my own. There's no way on my own I can get all the information out to everybody. What I can do is push the button and ask you to help me share. Sharing is caring is what I always say. So that's what it's all about, and that's what I want you to do. I'm going to want you to do on this beach accessibility project for Ryde. And if we get this right in Ryde, then we can share this to the rest of the island, and beyond, and we can be, you know, I mean, it's just amazing what can happen. So what they want to do now, let me see. I'm going to, what they want to do, the beach accessible for anybody. So at the moment, there's an esplanade. So you've got the concrete esplanade, and then you've got the beach. And if you're in a wheelchair, or like me, the Go Live Granny with my trolley, I can't use my wheels on the beach. And so, you know, if I can't get down on them, I can actually walk a little bit. So I could get down and walk a little way on the beach, but I would not be able to push my trolley. Somebody would have to carry that across. Much more difficult for people in a wheelchair. And so Michelle, who she runs a blog called a special needs blog, and I wanted to put it in the comments, but I couldn't get the computer wouldn't open up quickly enough to get the link. So it is called a special needs blog, and Michelle has a son, Ethan, who is in a wheelchair. And as she said, she gave a presentation tonight, and as she said, when he was little, it was fine because she could carry him, but he's getting bigger and bigger, and it's becoming a real difficulty. And in her presentation tonight, she said, I want to go on the beach with my children. She said, I have 3 children. I do not want 2 of them to go down on the beach with you know, another member of the family, and she sit up on the esplanade with Ethan, and she doesn't want a carer to sit up there with Ethan while she goes down on the beach with the others. She wants to be on the beach with all 3 children. And in this world, when we can send men to the moon, we can achieve this. And Ryde Town Council have got behind this. There are some other stakeholders in this. I know lots of people come together. I know that, and I'll put all the links up, but I can't remember them all now, and I haven't got they're going to send me the presentation, and they're going to send me the videos that they took tonight. Hello, Debs. Nice to see you. It is. You'll share with a 12-year-old. It's amazing, Debs, what they're doing. So let me read you. This was posted on April the 19th, 2024 by the Ryde Town Council Press. We are thrilled to share the fantastic update that the first section of our Broadwalk project was successfully tested yesterday. After meticulous planning and hard work from our dedicated team, we're delighted to see this milestone come to fruition. Hello, Diane. Now let me see if I can just turn the camera around so you can see my computer. I think you can see it now. So this is what they're going to do. They're going to put a Broadwalk on the beach, and that's amazing. And I've tested that out tonight with my shopping trolley, and Ethan's mum has had his wheelchair there tonight, and it works. So if we can become a place, and we let people know that we have accessibility on our island. Our beaches in Ryde are amazing. We've got lovely sandy beaches that go for miles each way. A very, very long beach that way, and then the sea goes right out. When it's low tide, the sea goes right out. You have to be careful when the tide's coming in that little children don't get caught with the the tide coming in. You have to watch them, but then you always have to watch children on the beach, so that's nothing difficult. So this now is going to give accessibility, and what is nice is people are listening, people are collaborating, they're working together. So it's Ryde Town Council. I haven't got all the I know what, if I go to my emails, I had the invite. I can read off my emails what it said on the invite. So down there it says beach accessibility project, so that will give you a bit of the information, but I haven't got, as I say, because I didn't get in till late because I was down at the hover, and I didn't want to be too late tonight because I haven't prepped for tomorrow's craft session yet. I've got to do that after this, and I probably need something to eat as well, I expect. I wanted to broadcast at 9 rather than at 10, and then I can get on. So let's just have a look. Let's put beach accessibility, and it will bring up the email of the invite I had. So I know that Visit Isle of Wight are helping out as part of their stakeholders. There's Hover Travel. I can't. Let's just see, because I want to get it right. I don't want to give you the wrong information. Oh, sorry, I've gone to the wrong email. So let's have a look. Beach accessibility. Let's have an accessible beach. So our beach is wonderful. It goes a long way that way, and it goes a long way out. It's a marvelous beach. It's lovely. I love it when my grandchildren come over. We always have a day on the beach if ever they're here, and it's just marvelous. But it means that I will be able to go down on the beach. So far I would sit up on the moor on the esplanade, and they would be down there. Now they sit not far from where I am, but it means we could go right down on the beach further down, and it would be much better. So here we are. This is it. Here we are. This is it. So I can find the information. Oops. She says, and then it's gone somewhere else. Oh no, terrible. Right, let's have a look. It's because my thing is, this isn't filling my whole screen. For some reason, it doesn't want to fill my whole screen. Oh, here we are. So, Ryde Beach Accessibility Partnership event. This is what I went to tonight. Everybody loves the beach, especially the 5 miles of glorious beach in Ryde. But not everybody can use it. Here is your chance to help change that. Accessibility is rightly becoming one of the key issues, and that is why Ryde Town Council and fellow stakeholders have exciting plans to improve access to Ryde Beach. Join us to explore ways in which you can help realise these plans and how your company can benefit from the project. So this was obviously aimed at business people as well as other people in the community. It says, do not miss this fantastic opportunity to connect with other like-minded local businesses, organisations and individuals. And get a sneak preview of our new Broadwalks thanks to Hover Travel, offering an exclusive experience and exciting beach landing by hovercraft. So the itinerary was this. So it said, see you there. And at the bottom, these are the stakeholders then. So it's Hover Travel, Isle of Wight, Visit Isle of Wight, Grace's Bakery. Oh yes, and they did the buffet tonight. I did have a sandwich, but I'm not. I should have been at Slimming World. So being somewhere else and eating stuff I wasn't actually a great thing. But I was a bit hungry, so I had to say I didn't have all the naughty cake. There were some massive, beautiful naughty cakes, but I didn't want to put on more pounds, so I didn't have those. So Grace's Bakery, Isle Access, and now what's this one? Oh, I think this is the one. Oh yes, Unlimited Island. That's the one that Claire, making tourism accessible. That's good. And the Isle of Wight Council. So those are all the people sort of involved, other than other organisations. So they did put out appeals about how other people could help, because they've got the first part ready, but they won't be able to do lots more unless more money comes in. So they've got they've got a crowdfunding page, and that's, I was trying to find the link to that, but I will put all these out in another broadcast, and I will make it accessible so you can all see it. Because if anybody wants to help, you can either help by, making a donation, or you can help by hitting the share button when I push any of this stuff out, because even everybody can help in some way, whether it's financial or whether it's pushing a button and sharing the information. We all help, and that's what we've done in all the projects that the Go Live Granny community has ever been involved with that needed the information getting out. It's all about hitting the share button and seeing what we can do. Sometimes it was hitting the share button and voting, sometimes it's hitting the share button and donating, whatever, but getting the information out is very important. So this is how the evening went. So the location was in the Solent View Hover Travel, and I didn't know where that was, because I thought of the Hover Travel building, and I thought, well, the hover passengers are going to be coming in and out, getting on the hover, so where are we going to meet? I didn't know there was a meeting room above where the passengers wait for the hover. So that's something new I'd learned. And what was interesting was there was a lift up there, which I need. Crowdfunding, yes, absolutely. So I somewhere I've got the QR code, but I couldn't find that piece of paper quickly as I came to broadcast. I will find all these things and I will put it out. Okay. Kathleen saying she didn't know Ryde Beach was that big. It's a fab idea. Have you any idea what it will cost? No, I don't. But I might be able to get that information, when I've done more research. But this all happened so quickly. I only got this invite very recently, and I haven't had time to do much research on it. But I will. I'll share out more information. So the itinerary. So we were in this lovely upstairs part of the hover travel, and the hover beaches on Ryde Beach, quite near to Ryde Pier. So the hover comes up and it's got its own apron, I think they call it, don't they, where the hovercraft comes up, and then there's a hover building there. And I've so many times live streamed the hover coming in and out. It never ceases to amaze me watching the hovercraft. And we're very lucky to have that on our island, because I think it might be the only commercial hovercraft. I'm not quite sure on my facts about that. I need to brush up on that, but it is a rarity in the world. So so I got in the lift. Somebody said, oh, well, there's a lift there. So I got in the lift. But this was interesting, and I did point it out as I came out the lift. So I've got my trolley, because that helps me walk. My Navy Nora is what I call her, and she helps me walk. So I went up in the lift, came out of the lift, but then there was a door ahead, and it wasn't a self-opening door. And I had to lean over the top of Navy Nora, or I had to use Navy Nora to push the door open. And I said, hello, Karen, nice to see you. Karen coming in on Facebook. And so I said, this could be an accessibility issue. And somebody said they would pass it on. So all the time, there's so many things that can be done to improve. Even just something like that, having a door opener on that door as I came out of the lift would have made life much easier. But it bit by bit, slowly, catchy monkey. You can't, Rome wasn't built in a day and all that stuff. So these things are happening. And so the event highlight, it said at 5 p.m. there was a welcome from Neil Chapman, who's the managing director of Hover Travel. And then we did a lot of networking. And of course, I used to run a network group, and it's so important to get to know other people who've got vital information or things that, So I was loving doing that networking. Some people in the room I knew, some I didn't. But of course, I've come away with Claire's business card, and I'm linked up with somebody else linked with me, nothing to do with the travel, but this was interesting. Again, networking, and I've got a lot of wool of my own, but I've been offered a lot of wool tonight, and this is just going off at a tangent. This wonderful scarf that Jane made me. Somebody saw it tonight, and when he came and approached me, I wasn't wearing it. I'd got a bit warm, and I'd put it in my Navy Nora. But I love this scarf, and Jane had made it in pandemic and sent it over, and I absolutely love it. And loads of people comment on it. And he said, "Oh, are you the lady that was wearing the scarf earlier?" I said, "Yes, I am." He said, "Oh, my wife had a scarf like that,
and she was a knitter. Well, obviously, hello. Oh wow, Michelle's in the house. Woo woo woo. I've been talking about you, Michelle, and I'll talk some more about you in a minute. So I'm just giving a general. Do pop some comments in, Michelle, if you think there's anything valid. If you've got any links, can you put the link to your blog in there, Michelle? Because when I got home, I didn't have time to get all the links before I went live, and my computer decided to play up. So please, any of the links or anything relating to this afternoon's progress, please can you put in? So people, those of you who don't know, this is a special needs blog, and there's a lovely picture of Ethan there, and his mum is Michelle, and she does a marvelous job, and she gave a marvelous presentation today, and she said, hello, lovely to see you this afternoon. But she runs a blog, a special needs blog, because Ethan is in a wheelchair. And thank you, Michelle. Look, there she's put up her special needs blog. So any of you who don't know, that's fine, because I was saying it's all about collaboration and working together. And I did tell you a story earlier about how you wanted to sit on the beach with your 3 children and didn't want to sit up there with one child and the other be there, or you be down there when Ethan's up there with a carer or something. So it's so important. So I'll leave that up there for me. Actually, you can't see me, so I'll take that down now. But I will put all these links out. I'm going to put them all together some way that everybody can access them, and we will be coming back to the accessibility progress. Because I'm now back live streaming more, I'm going to be live streaming about all these things. This is not Evan, sorry, I was calling him Ethan, I beg your pardon. Why did I get sorry, I do get names wrong. So he's Evan, that's right? Yeah, okay. Sorry, I've got the wrong name from somewhere, and if I get it wrong, please keep correcting me till I get it right, because I do get a bit like that. So anyway, we had the welcome from Neil. We did a lot of chatting with each other around the room, and Michelle and I met because I used to read her blog. I not used to read her blogs. I still read her blogs, but I was always coming across her blogs, and I thought, oh, that's I must follow this person, and it was just very interesting. And then one day I think it was last year, when it was the Mardi Gras, I was in town to watch the Mardi Gras and to do some live streaming. And I think it was last year, wasn't it? Or was it the year before? No, it might have been anyway. And I suddenly realised I was standing next to Michelle. So we introduced each other in the street there, and the rest is history. So now I watch her blogs all the time. But, she gave a very, very good presentation today about why it's so important, not just for her, but for anybody who has issues, that can be solved in such an easy way. I mean, obviously it takes money, but money can get found. Debs is saying, is there an accessibility guide to Isle of Wight for tourism? Well, Isle Access is the charity, one of the charities. So Isle Access is helping with accessibility and inclusion on the island. And then, of course, I've met Claire today, who's got Unlimited Island, making tourism accessible. But I don't know if any of you can go to the Visit Isle of Wight site, which is the marketing department for the island, and have a look. Can I task somebody with going to the Visit Isle of Wight site and telling me whether there's, because I haven't had time to do that research, whether there's anything on there about accessibility, because I know at one stage there wasn't, but I can't say there isn't because I haven't done the homework. So I would like to know that. So anyway, just before I carry on, I was just telling, when Michelle popped in there, I was just telling people about the scarf. So while we were networking, this chap came up to me and he said his wife used to knit, and she had a scarf like this, and he wanted to know, did he want to know where I got it or something? I can't remember. And anyway, I said, oh no, somebody made it for me. One of my viewers made it for me, and Jane made it for me. And he said, I said, but I knit. He said, oh, do you? He said, I've got loads of wool. Now, if I tell my children this, they'll freak because I've got so much wool in my flat. But I said yes because I know lots of charities who have knitters. And so I've said yes to the wool and yes to the crochet hooks and yes to the, because this gentleman's wife has sadly passed and he doesn't want to just get rid of it. You know, I've made my family promise that they'll never just get rid of my wool and that it will go to a good cause. Abby, hello. Right. Oh, so Abby's coming in and saying was lovely to meet me this afternoon. So are you part, Abby, let's have a look at you. Are you part of Evan's family, or are you I'm getting confused. Oh no. Or were you the lovely lady that works at Hover and helped me? There was a lovely lady who helped me on and off and whatever. So I'm not quite sure who this is coming in. Just tell me which lovely person you were. I met so many lovely people, and now my mind is, I'm terrible with names, but I try and get it right. So anyway, so in amongst all this, we got offered some wool that will help another charity. But anyway, we go back now to the accessibility evening, and so we did some networking. There was some wonderful food provided by Grace's Bakery, and as I say, I was supposed to be at Slimming World, so hang on, I'm just sending somebody a message because they've just put a comment there. They perhaps don't know I'm live. So anyway, so wonderful spread of food. And then I've gone off the page. Here we are, accessibility. Where's it gone again? Oh no, I've lost the page. There we go. Terrible. So it says beach accessibility presentation, which was presented by one of the, I think it was Annette from Ryde, or one of the people from Ryde Town Council. What difference will this make? And this is where Michelle came in and gave a very, very good presentation. It was just amazing, her presentation. And I am going to get the footage and I am going to be allowed to share it. Hello, Elizabeth. Elizabeth just coming in there. So Abby came in there on Facebook. Elizabeth's coming in on Facebook. She's saying, hi, Lynn. Hi, everyone. There we are. We're such a friendly bunch in here, aren't we? Which is lovely. And so, as I say, Michelle did a very good presentation. And then there was a gentleman in a wheelchair who did a very good presentation too about why he wanted to be on the beach and not up on the, on the esplanade at the top and get down. And for me, you see, I know it myself because I have a mobility issue. Not as bad as some of them, but I can understand the problem. So anyway, delighted to know that this is going on. So then there was the light refreshments. The light refreshments weren't just by Grace's. I apologise. It was Grace's Bakery, Mermaid Gin, and the White Crystal people. And the White Crystal people do these drinks, and they through the sales of these drinks, they let me read it to you because they connect with the charity. White Crystal's most sustainable bottle yet is made from 100% recycled plastic. Oh no, that's that. But it also says income from White Crystal supports the Way Forward program, which provides support services for people with a wide range of disabilities on the Isle of Wight. And that's www.wayforwardprogram.org.uk. So, anybody who gets any of these, you're supporting a charity as well. And so obviously they put those in as a donation to that. So they were, all the refreshments were sorted. And then 6:15, a unique Solent and beach landing hover experience and a photo opportunity, and an estimated finish time of 7. So we went on the hover. And I've done some filming. I didn't live stream it, but I've got some filming that I will put out there. And then it was funny that the girls from the town council laughed at me because they were sitting behind me when I was doing the videoing. And we went out. So the hover usually goes from Ryde across to Southsea, which is just to the side of Portsmouth. Okay, so that's one way of getting from the island as a passenger. That's as the vehicles are separate ferries, and so normally you'd get on the hover and you'd go across like that over to Southsea, but we didn't do that. So Ryde is here, and as I told you, a 5-mile beach. So we went out, and then we turned right, and we went further along the beach, and then the pilot, I think you call it a pilot on a hovercraft, don't you? Because they're driving the hovercraft. Oh, thank you. Richard is telling me, excellent. Richard says the Visit Isle of Wight has accessibility info, and he's forwarded it to me. That's brilliant. So I'll be able to share that. So there is access. There once wasn't, but now there is. That's good. Glad to know that it's on there, because, you know, it's important that the information gets put out. So anyway, on the hover, along, and then the pilot beached the hover further up the beach, further along the beach, not further up, further along. And we came, he did it very well. So he lined up the where you would get off, so where the wheelchairs would go down and where I would go. One side there's steps, and the other side there's a ramp. So obviously Michelle and Evan went on the ramp, and I went down the ramp, and the pilot had lined the ramp up right in line with the broad walk, you know, so it was we came straight off and straight onto that accessible piece. And so that's, if you saw the picture of when I was promoting the live stream, the thumbnail I put up was a picture of me in front of the hover on the broadwalk. And just a bit further up, Michelle was up further up with her family, with her 3 children, and I think they had a carer there. And you know, there was a family group, including the carer, and they were there as well. So they tested it out, and I tested it out, and it was brilliant. And then they took us back on the hover. Well, we got back on the hover, and then they said there was a bit of a surprise. So they took us out into the further out into the Solent, and then they started spinning the hover round. And I was videoing this, so I don't know how well that would come out. But then that's the true meaning of seasickness, I think. Go like that. Anyway, then they stopped, and the girls from that Ryde Town Council laughed because I said, "Oh, they're holding us hostage," because they stopped us in the Solent, and then they said, "Oh dear." You know, something about not being able to go any further. And then he said, on your seats, you've got it was basically the crowdfunding page with the code that you can scan, and then, you know, you can give money to support the project. So they want more money. They're doing a crowdfunder to make this more accessible for a lot of people. What I would love to do is persuade, you know, I know lots of people don't have much money, but if you broke it down and asked, you know, we got 1,000 people to donate £1. You get £1,000. You could say, "Oh, can somebody donate 1,000?" They won't have much. You know, there are very few people who would donate £1,000. If you break it down, how do you eat an elephant? Bite-sized bits. So break it down. It's what I did when Aspire wanted to do a project. We were doing a makeover project, and they wanted some tiles to do the toilet wall. And he said to me, "Oh," the day before we were doing the project, he said, "I haven't got the money for the tiles." And I said, "Well, tell me what you need." And he said, "Oh, however many square meters of tiles." I said, No. What's the money side of it? Give me the numbers." And it was £200. And was it 200? Whatever it was. And you know, asking one person for that sort of money is not going to be much of a go. Even worse now that we've got this cost of living crisis. But break it down and get, so let's say it was £100. It was more than that, but let's say it was £100. Instead of asking one person for 100, let's ask 10 people for a tenner, or let's ask 20 people for a fiver. And you can do that, and you can really break it down, and you can achieve, you know, obviously it would be nice if we had some benefactors who came along and you know, had huge money, but that's, you know, let's be real about it. And let's see what we can do. And I'm sure the Go Live Granny community can come up trumps somewhere along this line. So wait a minute. So Debs is saying thanks, Richard, because he sent the information about the accessibility of Visit Isle of Wight. A friend has the same info for Stratford-on-Avon. Helps a lot. Yeah, and Deb will know this because Deb herself, it's a bit difficult for her as well. She's one lovely member of my community and has been for a long time. So, you know, there's so many ways that people can be helped, and so they're doing the first bit, and they weren't going to hold the whole project up just until they got all this money. So let's do that, and then I think there's opportunities for some match funding and some other things. So I will be asking you in the future to hit those share buttons. When I've got all the information, I'll hop back on here and I'll have all the right links on there and on my social media. We can hit the share button and we can just do this, because as a community, that's how it works. And I have amazing community, and I keep meeting more people coming into the community all the time. So it's wonderful, absolutely wonderful. And I just want to see people enjoying themselves. I want to see people enjoying our beautiful Isle of Wight. And I want it to be an experience. I want Michelle's life to be easier than it is now. I want her to be able not to have to keep lifting, you know, and damaging her own, you know, damaging herself. So, you know, there's all these ways, you know, so that's what we will be doing. We'll be chatting a lot about it in the coming days and weeks. So I will up my information. I probably will ask Michelle if she might do some, you know, live chats with me. Maybe, I don't know. You know, I have to ask her privately. But she may come into the broadcast. I can do this broadcast where I can invite her and she could come in from her house and live stream. So we split the screen. Maybe some of the other people would do that. It's getting the information out. It's people understanding what the problem is. Some people, like the gentleman who was in the wheelchair, who's an ambassador and gave a presentation, he said, until I was in a wheelchair, I didn't know what the problem was. And this is it. And I think Michelle touched on that. It's not people not caring. It's people don't understand. And often, unless you either have the problem yourself or somebody explains it to you, you don't understand. You know, I didn't understand how difficult it was until my own mobility became more difficult, or I watch other people's blogs and things. And so that's, you know, that's what we're all about, folks. So that's what I would like, you know, people to understand. Oh, right. Oh, lovely. Michelle's saying, yes, that sounds great. Yes, let's get together. So what we'll do, Michelle, you and I we'll have a chat, whether we can meet up for coffee maybe, and then we can actually set it up so that people will know when we're going live, and that I can bring you into the studio here with me. It's called a studio because I'm using StreamYard, and that's what they say. And so, and then I can ask you questions, or you could you could, you know, put forward things, and people perhaps, you know, you can tell us more about it. I mean, I took on board what I heard tonight, but I may not be relaying it as well as if people had heard you. I will be sharing the video that Hannah did, of, you know, of your presentation. But let's get the news out there. Let's put it out there, and then let's get everybody sharing. And Elizabeth saying, she only said this tonight, if I was in a wheelchair, I'd never go out. Yes, you see, and that is the point. That is the point. And Michelle wants to keep going out, and she wants to enjoy all these lovely things with her family. You know, she's got a lovely family, and I met her other child. I hadn't met the oldest child, and I met her today, and that was nice. It was lovely to meet them all. So I was delighted to meet them all. So anyway, so yes, Richard sent me the link to Accessible Isle of Wight. So that's good. Thank you. So if anybody else has any things around this that we can, you know, that needs to get out there. My dad used to call me Meg. No, he used to call me Megaphone Mouth. But I think he must have looked into the future and seen me as a live streamer. I'm not going to take it that he said was being rude because I was loud. I just think that he was looking into the future and knew that I could put it out, you know, I could put the information out. It's something I'm good at. There's lots of things I'm not good at. Being chair of Ryde Business Association was one of them. And unfortunately, you see, people see me on here and see people on social media, and they think that, oh, those people are good at everything. No. I'm the first to admit I'm not good at everything, but I usually only attempt what I think I can be good at. With the Ryde Business Association, I really didn't want to do it, but I knew that the Ryde Business Association would fold if I didn't step in until somebody else could take it over. So I was the sort of, I did my bit, got criticised for it, but you know what? Life is what it is, and I don't take much criticism. I don't worry about criticism these days. I had somebody who watched my broadcast and said, "Oh, I've seen your ridiculous little videos, and you are the laughing stock." This was before I live streamed. This was when I was videoing. Jealous people out there. And so I messaged him and I said, "Oh, I'm so glad you've taken time to watch my videos, because I know you're a really busy man." I said, "And I'm glad I'm making people laugh, because laughter is the best medicine. But if you don't like it, please feel free to scroll on by or to block me." He wanted to bring me down, and I refused to be brought down. Once upon a time, he would have done, but I've, as I got older, I've stood up more and more, and so it's, and I stand up for the people who can't or don't want to stand up for themselves, or become very anxious about it. It's like the things I'm fighting on the corruption. I don't care about putting my head above the parapet. I don't have a business that they can destroy. I can just get out there and tell it like it is. And, so that's how I do it. But also we can share out all this wonderful stuff that's happening that people don't know about. Elizabeth's just saying, "I recently have been diagnosed with osteoporosis of the spine, and I'm so scared of what's going to happen in the future." Don't be scared. Don't be scared, Elizabeth. No, she's saying she'd be lost without my broadcast linear, an amazing role model. I do this is how I was taught, and if I can help somebody, that's how I was taught by my parents. I grew up in a very nice Christian home, and it was about caring for other people. There's too many people worried about all the money that they can get. Money's a bonus and it's helpful. But it's not, to me, it's not the most important thing in the world. And so if I can help, like Elizabeth said, some people said my broadcast through pandemic helped them. I know it helped them, but don't forget, it helped me too. You were helping me when I was helping you. It's about collaboration and working together. That's what it's all about. And that's just what this is. We're going to share and share and share all this information. We are going to get the people coming to our island. Thank you, Jan. Jan was saying it was good to have me there. Well, Jan, you've done an amazing job. I don't know how long I've known you for, Jan. I can't remember how long you've done Isle Access, but I was so impressed when Jan first told me how much money, and Jan, how much money were we losing as an island from tourism? Do you know that figure? Because that's what I wanted to show off our beautiful island, and if people didn't know, you don't know what you don't know, do you? And Elizabeth saying, yes, money isn't everything. No, and there's a lot of people who the route, they say the route to the love of money is the route to all evil. Yes, money's useful, and I'm going to be asking people if they could do some crowdfunding, but I'm saying, don't give a pound if you can give a pound. It was when, I've told this story before, but I'll tell it again. It's breaking things into bite-sized pieces so that everybody can be involved. And you have to go. That's all right, Michelle. We will arrange our get together. Yeah, Michelle, we'll be in touch, and let's have that coffee soon and link up and see what we can do. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your evening. So yes, this when it was. No, what else was it? I forgot what I was going to say. I know. Oh yes, I know what it was. I've got some sunflowers up there that I bought from the hospice. Well, I was at one stage I was selling those Right, Jan is saying the amount of money per year from accessible tourism in England, so that's not just on the Isle of Wight, is just over £15 billion. And we on the Isle of Wight want a share of that, right? So 15 billion. I can't even equate how much money that is. That's huge money. And so that £15 billion, if people don't know Ryde has an accessible beach, but somewhere else does, they're going to go there and not onto our beaches. So we are in Ryde. I'm not saying don't go to the other places, but I'm saying do come to Ryde because we want our share. You know, have a holiday here and have a holiday somewhere else as well. But we want our share. And if we can get the information out, which as a community I know we can, then that's the important bit. So thanks, Jan, for coming up with that. And, you know, and so how long have you run Isle Access? Because that's how long I've known you, Jan, because that's when I became so impressed. I was so horrified that we were losing out from some of that £15 billion. So anyway, I'm not going to stay on much longer because I've got to prep. I'm seeing Jan in the morning. Oh, since 2016. Right. Okay. That's, you know, so how many years is that? That's for 8 years. 8 years. That's really good. Well done. So, you know, and that's just amazing, and the amount of work. And Jan's been working with some youngsters, and there's a film out. I don't know if you want to put the link to the film, if you like, Jan, because she's been helping with the mental health of some of the young people on the island, and you really do need to watch the broadcast. If she can put the link up there, or if she can't, then I'll get it and share it at some stage. But you know, it's so sad when you hear some of these stories, and we can help to change those stories and change those lives, you know. So that's what we need to do: work as a community, collaboration. And I'm going to go in a minute because I'm going to go and get something to eat and get prepped for the morning. Tomorrow morning we're doing things with poppies. If anybody wants to pop in, anybody on the island and wants to pop into the Newport and Carisbrooke Community Council, which is at 64 High Street in Newport. Jan set up a wonderful warm hub there, and people can drop in. And she wanted to know from me whether I could tell her some ways of doing crafting, and I just said to her, why don't I just come along and do the crafting for you? But there's other opportunities. You can come, you can sit and have a cup of tea, you can have a chat, you can play you know, games. I think she's got crosswords and all sorts of things you can do. You can just sit and chat. It's a lovely place, and we've built quite some good friendships going on there. And we'd just like more people to come along. Free coffee, free tea, free biscuits, and you know, just nice warm space. So everybody welcome there. And Jan's just put the link to the film, so let me put this up there as well. What I will do is I'll add all these to my ticker bars, and then I would be able to click on it and do that. So let's just see. Elizabeth saying her grandson has never been the same after lockdown. He's only 11 and he never likes to go out. I think one of my grandchildren vastly affected by lockdown. And it's so sad, you know. And one of my young grandchildren, of course, her social skills. Well, she was born into. Was she born into COVID? I can't remember whether she was, but most of, you know, she was little for COVID. So anyway, so have a look at the Just Giving. Right, so justgiving.com campaign and I'll access media makers. So if you go on there, I think you've got the link to the film, and it looks like it's also a Just Giving page as well. So, you know, we are telling you about lots of things that need lots of help. But, you know, if we don't tell you, you don't know. If we do tell you, if you're able to help, you can. Elizabeth's granddaughter was born into COVID. She's just turned 3. Yes, I've got a 4-year-old and a 4-year-old granddaughter, and you know, her social skills. Her sister is 2, and her sister's social skills, you know, are better but it's just the way it happened, you know. They're working on it. The parents are very good and trying to certainly help, but it makes a difference. And Jan's saying lockdown has caused huge mental issues for young people. Not just young people, there are older people, you know. I mean, to be honest, and if you don't know, you might not know, but my brother, one of my brothers, took his own life. And there were a lot of issues going on, but I'm pretty sure that the pandemic just put the lid on the whole thing. He was, he had some issues anyway, but that coupled with the pandemic, you know, and I have to say on that score, the island failed him. But Jan is doing lots of work with the youngsters with mental health, and I was talking to somebody tonight, I think, or in the last 24 hours about mental health issues. Oh, it was tonight about mental health issues on the island. Oh, I know. I was talking to somebody who was standing as an MP, and I said, well, if you want my vote, tell me what you're going to do. And one of the big things he was on about was the mental health issue on the island. It is sad, Elizabeth. Yes, 48%. Wait a minute. So 48% of young people on the Isle of Wight identify as being very lonely and isolated. Yes, so we need to do more about that. So, between us, we can just use our skills as a group and, keep adding and putting more people into the group, working together, collaboration, because that's how it works. I didn't have any special skills when I started live streaming, but when we hit pandemic and my community wanted me to live stream every night, I did it because I could. I didn't necessarily want to live stream every night. Maybe sometimes I might have wanted a break, but actually I knew that it was so important, and it's just so important to keep going. And so many people have said since that I really helped them through the pandemic. But of course, it's a win-win for everybody, because I'm not quite sure how I would have been if I hadn't had the communications going. So, I'm talking and helping you, but in return, you're helping and giving back to me. It is a community thing. Night, Jan. See you tomorrow. I'll go and get my poppies prepped in a minute. So, yeah, see you. Thanks, Jan. Thanks for inviting me to the meeting, by the way. So she's off to bed now. And so Elizabeth saying her granddaughter is 12 and she's a very lonely child, having trouble in school, not being good because she can't cope. Yeah, similar to my granddaughter. But things are improving. There is help out there and they are getting better, fortunately. Jan's saying good night, everybody. So that's nice. There we go. And Elizabeth saying I really did help her. So it's, yeah, and all of you helped me. I mean, my community has been amazing to me, even to the point where when I was buying my Navy Nora to help me with my mobility, unbeknown to me, my community formed a group and had a whip round and paid for because I am a pensioner, and obviously I don't have huge bank accounts or anything like that. So, Kath, if you're watching, yes, I did go on the hover, but I didn't go in the cockpit because it was a steep ladder like that. I would have had to climb up a ladder like that, and I didn't. I'd seen one of our island vloggers do a photograph from the cockpit of the hover the other day, and I thought, oh, I'd like to do that. And then Jan said, no, you won't get up there. So I didn't attempt it. I didn't attempt it at all. So anyway, because I'm feeling so well now, you can expect to see me more live streaming more. And because we've got projects now like this that we need to get the message out, I need to do that. I need to send the message out. I need to share with you. I need to do some interviews with people like Michelle and people who will come on camera and chat and whatever. We need to get the message out. But for now, I think I need to go and get a cup of tea or something, and maybe a little something to eat. I did have a quick sandwich down at the hover, but I didn't have much because I knew I didn't want it. It didn't fit in with Slimming World, so I certainly didn't have the huge cakes that looked so delicious, and everybody said they were, but you know, I didn't want to put weight on unnecessarily. But I did have a sandwich, so I probably might have done. Anyway, Elizabeth saying good night, Lynn, and everyone. So I'm actually gonna finish up now. But do watch out for the links and any of the things. And if you can just hit the share button and let people know, and not just hit the share button once. When we were getting the 50,000 lottery funding, I told everybody go and tell everybody. Tell them. Well, we don't have a milkman anymore, do we? But I used to say things like, go and tell the milkman, go and tell your hairdresser, go and tell this person and that person. If you give lots of people ideas, then they will never run out of ideas as to who to share the information with. So, you know, I will be on that good old treadmill, sharing out the information and getting it known. I will be that megaphone that my dad, you know, he used to call me megaphone mouth. He obviously knew that I was going to go out and do this. Right now. Oh, actually, Debs has put something there about multiple sclerosis, but further back she put something, and I don't think I read it out. Let's scroll back. I did see it. She says, can you let the local Parkinson's and MS disease group know about it? Yes, I will look. I will look for the different organisations that I think need to know it, because you know people might forget to share it. I actually want to share into the groups. I didn't share that I was going live about it tonight, because what I need to do is check the rules of the different groups, because you have to be careful what you're posting in the groups. But of course, an Isle of Wight group would be a great place to put all this information out there. So there's Jan's link again about the Just Living, the Isle Access media makers. Do go and have a look at that video. That's very powerful. Jan worked with, I think, 6 children, and not children, were young people. Let's call them young people, and it's amazing. I've seen the film. You really need to do it. Go and have a look at it. You know, it's shocking in that how isolated these people felt, but obviously Jan is working with them, and things are moving in a good direction. Right. Oh, so so Jan said 48% of young people on the Isle of Wight identify as being very lonely and isolated. And thank you, Elizabeth, for your comment about my brother. He had a lot of issues. He was living a difficult time, and as I say, they failed him on the island. But lessons need to be learnt. So Richard saying good night, Kath saying good night, and Corrie's coming. Sorry, Corrie, I'm laughing because no, I shouldn't laugh, but you wait a minute, I just need to take that comment out. Where's that comment? I've got to click on it over here. There we are. And Corrie's arrived at the end. Corrie, it doesn't matter. If you want to know, I think you need to watch the video, because you'll want to know what we've been on about. It's about things good for the community here on the Isle of Wight, but it's not just about the Isle of Wight. We can learn lessons even if it's not just about what's going on the island. Anyway, I keep saying good night and then I don't go, and that's what I usually do, but I am going to go now. I need to prep some poppy. I need to go and prep some poppies. So tomorrow we're making poppies in the craft workshop, and the reason we're making poppies is because on June the 8th we are in I think it's the Victoria Wreck, is it, or one of the places in Newport, I think. Yes. No, I don't know. Yes, I think it. I don't know where it is. I've forgotten, and now I've just totally lost what I was going to say. Right, so I'm going back to Deb's comment. She's put here's multiple sclerosis centre on the mainland. Maybe they would be able to promote Ryde Beach improvements. Yes, that would be good, because it's about linking up, isn't it? It's about sharing the news. But I know that I've got to check what the rules are of each of the groups before I post, because there's some people running groups on Facebook, and they're obviously on a power trip, some of them, and it's all about, no, you can't post that in here. Even if it's something that's really good for the island. So I have to be very wary of what I post where. I might ask some of you to post for me, and check the rules first. So anyway, that's it, folks. I'm going to go now. I can feel I need to get a drink, and I need some sleep. But first I have to prep the poppies, because I didn't finish telling you, did I? On the 9th of, the 8th of June, there's a D-Day celebration, and in one of the local green spaces, and I think it's the Victoria Rec, but I'm not sure. I might have that totally wrong. Please excuse me. No, I think it's one of the places in Newport, so I don't think it's the Ryde one. Anyway, I need to find out, because I need to get there. And we're going to have a display, and we decided that poppies was a very good display to have, that's not too difficult and quite easy to make craft-wise. So they're going to be different poppies I'm going to make. I don't know what ones I'm going to do tomorrow until I go and check in a minute. But I'm going to make the bottoms of bottles like this. See, like that. You can cut those out and paint them with acrylic paint. Not when there's drink in them, obviously. But and you can make them red with a nice big black centre. And they painted with acrylic paint. They make lovely poppies. You can make paper poppies, card poppies, crepe paper poppies. I've been looking at all sorts of tutorials to do with poppies. So I've got to go and decide which I'm going to do in the morning. And then I want to have a weekend of crafting, because I haven't done much crafting this week. But I've just had a request. So I haven't got my ice cream van up there. But I had a request tonight. Could I make an ice cream van? There's an ice cream place in Ventnor, and somebody wants me to make the ice cream van for that ice cream shop. So that's what I'm going to do, but not tonight. Night, everybody. Thank you for joining me, and see you again soon. And watch out for all the information that I'm going to share in the future. Bye.